Ladies and gentlemen, the city of Philadelphia, where I grew up, finally got a backbone and got rid of the statue of Frank Rizzo. Some of you might be too young to remember Frank Rizzo, but Frank Rizzo actually was a police chief. He was a cop. He started out as a cop, he became a police chief, and then from there, he became mayor of the city of Philadelphia. And he had this thing when especially black men were arrested, he would make you strip down at gunpoint on the sidewalk, and somebody from the police department would come and snap the picture, and it would go on the front page of the newspaper in the city. Frank Rizzo was in office for 2 terms. He tried to run for a third term, and shortly after he announced that he was running for mayor again, he died. And I think that was the biggest cheering I've ever seen in the city of Philadelphia when this man died. And the city went into a big party that day. So anyway, this is NPR, June 3rd, 2020. Workers removed a statue of Philadelphia controversial former Mayor Frank Rizzo from its place of honor across from City Hall early Wednesday morning, finishing a job that protesters attempted to accomplish during a recent demonstration against police brutality, because this man was brutal. You hear me? When it came down to dealing with the Black community, this man was absolutely brutal. He loved the police brutality that came down on the Black community. Just like many people love it today. But see, these folks, once upon a time powerful, and now they're growing weak. And you see here in America, the cops have lost a lot of credibility just over a 9-day period. A lot of distrust. People don't like cops. They don't believe in cops. Hearing more and more people saying, I don't even want them around. And you, of course, you always got the people, oh, you gonna need police. Yes, but we don't need that kind of policing. We don't need the kind of police that are gonna come out and kneel on somebody's neck. We don't need the kind of cops that will come out and shoot someone in the back and tell you they feared for their lives. We don't need the kind of cops that'll jump out a car and kill a kid within seconds because he's playing with a gun in a park, a toy gun. We don't need them kind of cops. Shoot first, ask questions later. Nobody needs that kind of policing. So if, many of us will opt for nothing than that kind of policing. In the 1970s, Rizzo famously told Philadelphia voters to vote white. Yes, he did this for real. Yes, he did. But on Wednesday, the city of brotherly love took down a memorial to a man who exploited its divisions. For many Philadelphians, the larger-than-life statue of Rizzo, who also was police commissioner, was an overt symbol of white police officers' brutal treatment of Black people and other minorities. The Frank Rizzo statue represented bigotry, and that's exactly what this man was. Hatred and oppression for too many people for too long. It's finally gone. Mayor Jim Kenney told, this is what he said Wednesday. So, they took a photo of the empty spot where Frank Rizzo's statue is no longer there. A lot of people complained about that statue being there. In fact, there were a lot of people that were opposed to the statue of Frank Rizzo ever going up. But, It was the 70s back then, and they put this statue up, and nobody liked it. And this man definitely was not worthy of having a statue. They can, what they need to do is wherever he's buried, just take it and put it in the cemetery. You know, Nobody wants to see this statue. I never met anybody saying, "Man, I need to see that statue of Frank Rizzo." I never met anybody that said any of those things. And you see how they spray painted the statue. That happened a lot all throughout the years since it's been up. There's always somebody coming along and vandalizing this statue. Okay. Because of Rizzo's legacy of brash intolerance, the statue has been a focal point in Philadelphia protests over the death of Black people, most recently of George Floyd in Minneapolis, Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky, and Ahmaud Arbery near Brunswick, Georgia. Protesters attacked the statue over the weekend, defacing it with paint and setting it on fire. and setting it on fire and using ropes to try to bring it down. Yeah, they had to bring that thing down. Look, y'all, the city of Philadelphia has all kinds of bigoted statues up. They took one down that was at one of the universities. It was one of those doctors that experimented on slave women for gynecology with no anesthesia. And they took that statue down, and they took his statue to his gravesite. They put it in the cemetery because nobody wants to see that Nobody wanted to see that statue. So they put it in the cemetery. And that's really what they need to do with the Frank Rizzo if they don't want to melt it down and maybe make it out of somebody halfway decent with some humanity, because Frank Rizzo sure didn't have any. The latest demonstration prompted the city to accelerate its plans to remove the statue, which were discussed as early as 2017. NPR members station WHYY described the scene Wednesday morning as the National Guard troops deployed in wake of the recent protests. Watch a crane lifted the 10-foot tall bronze statue, and workers shook it from its stand outside the Municipal Services Building across from City Hall. It was loaded onto the back of a truck. Rizzo died in 1991, but has loomed large in Philadelphia because of his use of violence during and after the civil rights era. He set the tone immediately after becoming police commissioner in 1967 as police officers set upon thousands of high school students who were demonstrating at the Board of Education. Some witness, quote, Rizzo saying, "Get their black asses." No, this man didn't hold back, y'all. He didn't hold back his racism. And yes, he did say that. He sicked cops on high school students, and he told them to get their black asses. He didn't hold back. As NPR Gene Demby, a Philadelphia native, has written of Rizzo, for a lot of Black Philadelphians of a certain vintage, like my mother, the swaggering, profanity spewing Rizzo, the city's former police commissioner, was the face and soul of Philadelphia brutal, aggressive police force. My mom recounted to me the time he arrested a group of Black Panthers. I remember that. It made the front page. It sure did. Where he made them strip in public. He took their picture to humiliate them and splashed it across the pages of the local newspapers the next day. And you just see them standing on the sidewalk with nothing but white underwear on. That's it. That's it. White drawers. That's it. That's all they had on. They had nothing else. You know, you can chuckle a little bit about it, but that shit wasn't funny back when it happened, you know. But this man, this is how he acted in the city. He shouldn't be honored anywhere. Rizzo's tenure as commissioner propelled him to the mayor's office, where he promised to be tougher than Attila the Hun, who was black. See, Attila the Hun was black. So you're duplicating a black man while you're in office while hating black people. During Rizzo's time as Philadelphia mayor, 1972 to 1980, the U.S. Justice Department filed a lawsuit against the city's police department, saying officers use excessive force, shocks the conscience. And actually, it doesn't, because they use excessive force even to this day. So, ladies and gentlemen, Frank Rizzo was one bigot above all bigots. And that's how he ran the city of Philadelphia. But y'all, please tell me what you think. I don't think anybody's going to miss this statue. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.